My new thing, it fits in a clock, it rakes in a car, pulls on my brain. Are you ready to see? This is my new thing. Are you ready to see? This thing is my new thing. Shyness will show, excitement will glow. I'm sharing this thing. That thing is my new thing.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of My New Thing. My name is Dan Wilbur.
And I'm Zach Sims, and we're here to talk to funny people about funnier obsessions.
Now, Zach, how funny do you feel today?
Not very.
Me neither, but this was a great show.
This was, and usually we record this before the show, and we're going, oh, this was a great show, and we're just talking right out of our little booty holes. But today, we actually did it already, and we can tell you it's good.
Today we had comedian, author, all-around stupendous podcast guest and host, Ophira Eisenberg, who you might know from NPR. You might know from her podcast called Parenting is a Joke. And we had her come on, and you know what? We said, go wild. Go nuts.
It's a classic episode where we have somebody who's more accomplished than us in every possible way. Make us
More professional.
Absolutely. And make us feel like vaguely better just because she allowed us to be in the same room.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think she would be into. I thought she would want to be in a separate hovel. Or we would be in the hovel. And she would be in a castle of some sort.
That's perhaps in her rider. She says, I need to be at least 500 feet away from all male podcasters. That's what it says. So
I can't be near a chin beard, which is why, or a neck beard. A chin beard is just a beard.
A chin beard's just a regular beard, unless it's just a Fu Manchu or a goatee.
A cigar is just a cigar, and a chin beard is just a beard. You have to be Gen X. You can do a goatee. If you're not in Gen X, then you can't do a goatee.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't do it ever.
Because you're allowed to do what was cool when you were 20, I think.
Right.
Any sort of fashion, you know? Mm-hmm. Or lifestyle, really.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to bring back a soul patch.
Oh, that could be good for
Fred
you.
Durst.
No one has ever looked good in a soul. It's one of the things that's amazing that they still exist, because no one has ever looked good in a soul patch.
I remember a kid that I went to high school with calling it a flavor saver, and it made me sick
Sure.
in my stomach. I said it just now, and I almost threw up.
It is grotesque.
It's disgusting. So speaking of disgusting things, you little freak, what are you into this week?
Well, just as a side note, and I'm just going to throw this out there, and I don't really want feedback, and I really definitely don't want negative feedback, but I feel like we got into it. Like I said, I shouted the first time we were recording one of these, see ya, hobbyholers, kind of to make you laugh. And then it became a thing that I'm doing every time, and I don't have to. So I know most people are listening, maybe not to the outros anyway, but if you are bothered by it, because another one I could go is just a couple of ideas. See ya, hobby sluts. That's one.
That's a good one.
And we'll see you next week, you little freak. So those are a couple of possibilities. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I've been writing a new name for what our podcast dungeon is called each week, and I just put it in there just in case anybody notices.
Absolutely.
And each one I do is worse than the last.
Yeah, sure.
So,
much like this show.
Yeah. I said the what was it? Welcome to the Obsession OR.
Oh.
Like the operating room. And I was really proud of that one.
Yeah, that's interesting because I have a different feeling. But I hadn't heard that. There is an alliteration, which is nice.
Unnerved.
Now, this is a real, sometimes it's all bullshit, but I do love, I love sports. That is, when I say I don't have obsessions, I do love sports. And I love a sport documentary. Big fan, and it's all the rage now, is all these behind the scenes. Like, I love, there was one about the Boston Red Sox, and I don't hate the Red Sox, but I'm not a Red Sox fan.
Sure.
And I just love they have these mic'd up players, and just like the guy will have like struck out or something, and then he's just in the field. There's so much waiting in baseball. You're standing there, so he's just standing there waiting for like the game to start again. And he's just like, "You fucking idiot! What are you doing? You gotta swing like a big leaguer, you piece of shit!" And I love that. That stuff it's great to know that they also are in their heads all the time, and you know all that stuff. But I've been watching one. It's called Any Given Saturday. and it is about SEC football. And lordy, am I having a great time watching this thing. And speaking of that, so one of the more fascinating things to me about it is the coaches. There are two different types of Southern college coaches. There's just the standard guy who probably hates his wife and calls you a bastard and, is 400 pounds.
Right.
And then there's the other guy who might also be 400 pounds, but he also thinks he is a divine minister for the Lord. There's this one guy, Hugh Freeze, who is the head coach at Auburn, and he's doing sermons. Like, he's got a book out, and he even says, I was preaching to my kids about how you got to have the moment and all this stuff. Now, fun fact about Hugh Freeze, he used to be the head coach at Ole Miss. He got fired as the head coach of Ole Miss because he was using, allegedly, and I'm not sure all my facts are correct, but was using like school funds to get prostitutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you were going to go somewhere else.
No.
I thought it was just like he was embezzling it to buy steroids for the kids to make sure the team was really good.
I mean, that's at least team building.
I know.
Yeah. No, he just is a dirty dog.
Yeah, because I think about a football coach is like, I'll do anything to win. And then you find out they're like, no, actually, we won the Super Bowl and I'm going to go get a handy at the massage parlor.
Well, and by win, I mean get my nut. It's the difference. But I do love, it is like wild. Like, it does seem like college football in a lot of ways is an encapsulation of America, and I think in a lot, and there is the not to get whatever, but the connection between religion and sports, I think, is very common, not even just in the South, but is also maybe a little bit of some of the ick of the American experience.
Well, I played Ohio football at a Jesuit school that was very good, and that's basically like living in Texas in a way.
Yeah.
And I remember before we even got to school in 8th grade when they were showing us what it would be like, they showed us the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
and
sure.
they were like, here's that warden who keeps focusing on the Bible, and that's the only way you will make it through this 4-year institution, you little monsters. You better fall in line or you'll be sent to solitary. And then they took us to the Mansfield State Penitentiary where it was filmed, and they put us in solitary for a minute. And I still think about it. That I'm like, maybe I'm still in there. Yeah. Anyway, and now this has all been a dream.
Sports are one of those things that can actually be a good preparation for life. You do learn discipline. I think it's good to have discipline. You do learn kind of to push yourself and all that stuff. I actually do think is valuable. But you also get, like in this doc, there was this guy for Tennessee, which would be my team if I had a team. And he was talking about, it's kind of like war. Football is kind of like war, which is always, you're immediately like, uh-oh. And then he was like, because in a war, there are the people that are watching and the people that are fighting. And I know I'm the one who would want to be out there fighting. It's like, well, it's easy to say that when you're not actually getting shot at or blown up. It's like
you are actually just watching. You aren't participating.
Yeah,
you
like also could get shot. There are things you could do. You could join the military.
Why don't you get on the front line? Why don't you become the center coach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I like to think about sports helping you later in life because sometimes I will think of something where Marty Einen, shout out to this weight coach and the O-line coach, who would say stuff like, hey, don't think about the weight, just lift it. And you'd go like, oh, I'm going to stop procrastinating, I'll lift it. But I also have it in my head, him screaming, Wilbur, you are slow as shit, and you should get out of here.
Yeah.
And then I go like, oh yeah, I could quit.
Yeah,
whatever I'm doing, I could just leave.
I might have even said this on the show before, but I was on the wrestling team briefly for about a year in high school. And we had Coach Irwin who would dip and spit his dip into a little cup. And he, like my first practice, it was me and these couple of kids who were just joining the team. And it was one of these, wrestling was not a big deal at all. So it was like, if you want to be on the team, you are on the team.
Right.
And this kid, and we were in the locker room. I don't even remember how it came up. And he had nobody, we were all fully clothed. And the coach just said to this kid, we'll say his name was Jim. He wasn't Jim, but it was like, he just goes, and this kid, by the way, is about 14 years old, 13. And he goes, well, Jim's balls hang lower than his pecker, but he's doing okay. And I think about that all the time. He was just, he was team building Razzie, just telling this child that he has a small penis.
You got a really small dick.
Or
just almost said tall dick.
Huge balls, I guess, could be huge balls.
Could be huge balls.
Long
well,
balls.
Speaking of huge balls, I had huge balls and high expectations when I moved out to the burbs. And that's the thing I wanted to tell you about. And I just wanted to make it short and sweet for you. Because this week, and you didn't ask, but I'm going to throw it at you anyway. My obsession is that I have just been constantly thinking that anyone listening to me right now should know that you should rent an apartment until you die. Just don't get a house. I know last week I was talking about barbecuing. Absolutely. Hosting people, so fun.
Go to
I
the
love
park.
to host
You can
people.
grill at the park.
You can grill at the park. You can show up to Prospect Park and you can just join somebody else's grill.
I do it all the time.
If you bring a little food and you're like, I'm here.
You don't even have to bring food. Say you're somebody's cousin.
Say you're Stay in an apartment until you die. Are you listening to me, folks?
No, they can leave. They can go outside. You're just saying don't buy a home.
Stay in there.
Oh, you're just
Stay in there.
Become a recluse.
Don't leave. Come on. You don't need it. Get in a pod hotel. You know, and have you ever seen those in Tokyo where you just, I think it's for professionals who are flying too much and they're like, I want to be enclosed in the air. And then when I get out, I want to be enclosed again. And they slide into these little beds.
No, is it a
Just have
kink or
TV.
is it like a money
It might
thing?
be a kink. I mean, every time you hear about something, this is the future, and then you read about it and you're like, I think this is just some weirdos.
The future is smelling feet. You're having trouble. You're not loving being a homeowner. That's what we're getting down to.
It's not that I'm not loving it. I just think it would be very good for people. I'm not saying you shouldn't own stuff. You should definitely own stuff. You should definitely eat your landlord if you have a chance. If you have a chance right now, vote for somebody who's going to tax your landlord and also put rules in place to protect you. I'm not saying you have to rent forever. I'm saying if you're going to own something, consider it not being a giant house. If you want to know what a sump pump is, I'll come over and tell you. You just call me and be like, what is a sump pump? Don't wait for your basement to flood and then find out about it. Find out right now just by Googling and then be like, I want no part of that. That's none of my business.
I thought a sub pump was what you have to do to make money if you get addicted to heroin.
Yeah, that's right. You know what I'd love to do?
$10 for a sub pump.
Now I am basically dealing with what a landlord would deal with without any of the benefits of exploiting the poor. So I just have, it's just me in there. And so the latest one, which was really funny, was we recorded an episode virtually and I couldn't use my office because there were too many bees in there. So I had to get a bee guy to come in and take a beehive out of my roof.
And that's like tricky business. That's like you got to be careful with that.
Let me tell you, it was cheap. Because the nice thing is that I don't have a super on call or anything, but there's occasionally something where you go, I need to fix this, and instead of it costing $3,000 and you have to wait a week for some guy to come, there was a bee guy who was like, I got 8 more calls today, and he had like a little hat on,
sure,
with a little screen.
Well, when you're the bee guy, you can't be
guy.
Charging that much.
No,
I feel
he doesn't need to because he's like, I'm gonna bang out, I'm gonna smoke these suckers out,
sure,
and then I'm gonna go next door where they also have a hive.
Well, where the bees just
make
ran
another
to
$400 or whatever. And they're making money. So I'm happy to be part of that ecosystem. I am killing the bees. They're the bad ones, not the good ones.
Okay.
And one of them stung my dog. This is the most badass thing I did this week. The bee is freaking out. It's alive in the dog. The dog's running around.
Holy.
And I pulled the bee out with my fingers.
Oh, wow.
And threw it, and it flew away. And I was like, I can't believe I didn't get stung.
Yeah, right.
And that's just one of the many joys. Listen, that was a Tuesday. And you know what? I had to solve it immediately. And then it's just another thing. Next week, I'm going to hear a noise in my basement. And instead of being scared that it's a ghost, I'm going to be scared that it's flooded again. So don't get a house.
Yeah, sure. I want a sub pump is what I want. Well,
$5 down the street.
Absolutely. You know what's better than a sub pump? Ophira Eisenberg.
That's right. And you're going to hear her right now.
Oh, can I tell you? I did something bad a few days ago.
Oh yeah,
at
sure.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was at the I was going on the New Jersey Transit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at Penn Station, and there's a Starbucks there, and I like having a coffee on the train.
Sure.
On my way to a gig, if I have to take the train.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the Starbucks. It's in Penn Station. It's madhouse in there. And a lot of people, there's not one at the cash registers because most people are just ordering off their phone somewhere
Sure.
I don't like the way this is going.
and they're coming to get their drink. But you don't know because you go, oh, it's pretty empty in here, but you don't know there's 400 orders ahead of you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I've got to catch a train.
Yep.
And so I put mine in with the woman at the cashier. Very pleasant,
mistake.
may I say. And then I am waiting, and it's just taking too long. And it's Frappuccino and just odd concoctions I didn't even know existed. Did you know there's a whole off menu to Starbucks too?
I did not know, but I'm disgusted to hear about it right now.
Yeah, there's. I can't remember the one that you were supposed to drink if you're sick.
They have a medicine?
Yeah.
A medicinal?
Yep.
Starbucks?
Yeah, that people are like, oh yeah, this is what you asked for, and it's an off-menu Starbucks item.
No, thank you for that.
Okay, so, but I was waiting, and mine is not coming up, and finally a cappuccino came up for Julia, and I thought, let's just see what happens.
Sure.
And no one
I thought you
forward.
said Ophira.
And so I was like, guess what, Julia?
Oh, good for you. Yeah, good for you. 'cause
Your drink is moving on.
I don't like all the pre-ordering stuff in general. It feels rude. Or, I don't know, something about it. It just, I don't really like talking to people, but it's still nice to have
Why don't you like talking to
some
people?
sort of human. I just feel like it can go bad in a variety of ways.
How could it go bad?
Easily.
Well, I say something that upsets them. Or,
What are you going to say that upsets them?
Well, I have a lot of bad opinions.
That's going to happen in a coffee order?
I guess so. I care too much. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm elevating a little bit, but I do. I both don't want to have an interaction with a barista, and then when I see somebody else having a good interaction, I get jealous, if that makes sense.
Okay, listen, I'm going to break this down for you right now.
Okay.
You got to work at it every day.
Sure. No, that's
Okay?
true. That's
You
true.
got to stop. Don't be part of the problem. You want AI to win? It's already has. But you're feeding into it.
Sure.
You're feeding into it. Think about your responsibility as a human. Do you want the robots to win?
No, I don't want the robots to win. No.
So start having a little small talk.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's going to be on you.
See, I had a thing where because there's like 20 coffee shops in this area, as you probably
Oh
know.
yeah, this is coffee shop
Yeah.
heaven. Oh
And
yeah,
there's one down here that I'll go to, and
Conditori.
I like Conditori.
You know what's the greatest thing about Conditori? Sorry, listeners who
go
don't live
for it.
here.
Yeah,
Reasonable.
we were just talking about it. Yes. Well,
It's
you don't
the-
get cold brew, but it's a $3 cold brew, and everything else. Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I go in there for a coffee and a bagel,
absolutely,
$3.25.
absolutely, as it should be, as God intended. There's another one, Volaire. Not to plug.
Excellent.
I like
know. I
Volaire.
can tell you about every coffee joint in this neighborhood. Too.
I go to Volaire pretty often because it's usually seating.
Yep.
And I will chat with them a little
They're
bit.
nice.
Yes, they're nice. Eastern European in some way, perhaps.
Yeah, I know.
and
I
they're
know. I
delightful.
thought that place was a cover until their stuff was good.
Sure. Yeah. No, sure.
My coffee shop, I'm way too chatty, and now I'm friends with all of them.
Good.
All my baristas.
That's
Well,
good.
My wife, not that pleased.
She's worried that you're going to run away with the barista.
They're all gay, so
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain. Like one of them brought me a muffin to my show, and she's like, "What's going on there?" And I
That
was
is
like, "They
nice.
are not interested at all."
No, that is
And not
nice.
even if they were straight, they'd be like, "You're an old man," is what they would think.
You're in the perfect situation.
That's right.
I mean, they couldn't do better. I will say, okay, this is just where I'm at right now because
Yeah.
I ordered a pair of shoes online, blah blah blah. They were wrong, and then I was like, I got to return the shoes, and I went to return them, and it said it was off Allbirds. Okay,
Oh, sure,
I've
yeah.
never ordered a pair of Allbirds before, but the first thing came up said, "Hey, good news! There's a store right near you in Soho. You can return it or exchange it there for no cost because I guess they give you a restocking fee if you send it back."
Okay.
Right.
So I went to the store, got there 5 minutes before it's closed. There are 2 women working there, super nice. I explained the whole there. I'm like, "I'm so sorry you're closing." She's like, You're fine. And then literally said to me, I said, I didn't know you were here. I could have just come down and try on these shoes in the first place.
Mhm.
And she was making it easy. I'll do the exchange. Do you want it shipped back to your house? Da, 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 da. Maybe you don't want to walk around with it tonight. And she said, but please, if you're ever thinking about getting another pair, come in the store because otherwise they'll close the store.
Sure. No, that's true.
And I was
true.
like,
I love that we're in that stage of capitalism where everything feels like charity.
yes.
And you're like, I got to have these people have their jobs or
I
we're
definitely
all gonna die.
sometimes like going to Target instead of ordering it on Amazon feels like supporting a small business in a way, which is probably not true.
That's
but
true of Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, Barnes and Noble.
Barnes
Yeah,
and Noble used
sure.
to be the enemy, and now
it's
if
like
Barnes
the
and Noble
night.
fails,
That's
there's
your
no
friend.
more books.
I
It's just
know.
Amazon and Apple, and that's where you'll publish.
And
through.
you know what's weird? I ordered a book for my son off of Amazon. Seemed really cool.
We're gonna delete this verboten. No, I'm just kidding.
And I've never seen this before. It said, I got a notification saying, your package has likely been delivered. I swear to God, that is the word.
Chances are,
We don't want
Likely.
to get your hopes up.
And it was not.
it was not. It turns out.
It was not.
Well, it's good they
There
phrased it
was
that
just
way.
a picture
That's crazy.
of someone else's house. And they're like, I don't know. And there's just a guy shrugging.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I was like, who programmed that page?
love that.
Likely been
I like
delivered.
when
Well-
they tell you that the label's been made. They're like, "Oh, it's on the way," and I'm like, "It's sitting in your house."
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah.
it. I can
Yeah.
see the label.
Yeah,
See the label.
trying to make robots feel like humans is one of the worst parts of AI. I feel like the likely, or like when a robot's like, I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying. You know, let's just be robots. Be robots.
Yeah, I agree.
People be people.
This
Yeah.
is why people are falling in love with their ChatGPT
Absolutely,
yeah.
conversations.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I don't fall for that shit. Well, I use ChatGPT every once in a while, and I use it for marketing stuff. Like, I'm like, this is my worst kind of writing. I do not like it at
that's
all.
smart.
But someone will be like, give me a summary of the solo show you're working on. Oh, great. I'm going to take the script. I'm going to put it in ChatGPT. I'm going to say I need a marketing doc. And then I change it because I've actually made a list of words that I will put into the thing. Like, you cannot use the following words because they're ChatGPT words. Loves using spoiler, loves using delve, dive, journey.
These are
I've
good
just
tips.
created
Yeah.
a list.
For when I'm writing my next CV.
I have an ongoing list where I'm like, when you make this, do not use the following words. And then sometimes it still does. And I'll write back, do it again without this word, as that was my prior thing. And it will come back and say, my bad.
Oh, see, I'm
My
sorry I wouldn't have
bad.
liked, but my bad is way worse because my bad is like you're a teenager almost, maybe. Yeah, it's too
My
human.
bad.
I don't care for that at all.
Now we can't avoid it when we're using the editing software for this podcast. And I got to say, the little things that show up about which portion we're on, extremely disturbing.
Oh, like when
this
it gives
is
it
the
chapter
catchy
titles?
episode. Yeah, this is the please clean up after your dog section. I'm
Yeah.
cleaning it up as I speak.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
much
yeah.
dirtier and weirder, but I don't want my mom to tune out immediately on this episode.
Well, here's what I've realized so it's everything in ChatGPT, I think, has been made for corporate use. That's who they're aiming it at. I mean, there's a little bit of like to-do lists and all this garbage, I think, aimed at like whatever teenagers, young adults who are just excited about using it like a toy. But most of it is based on corporate. So if you need it to do corporate things, it's fantastic.
Sure. Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
You don't have to reinvent. They don't want it creative. They want it sounding in a certain format, and that robot has it down. But for anything creative, like I do my podcast show notes, I'll throw it through ChatGPT, and then, yes, everybody, I still re-edit it because it's often garbagey, but at least it gives me a starting point. But then it will do takeaways, and I'm always like, guess what this podcast has? No takeaways. No, there's no
The
call
whole
to
point?
action. Yeah, no
sure,
takeaways.
sure. Very little delving. You're not delving.
No delving.
No
No
delving at all.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not
Avoiding all
going-
delving.
No journeys.
I like it. Well, yeah, if our podcast had anything, it would be there's no closure, I guess. It's just we're all just
Circling
enjoy yourself.
around.
Sure.
And I like that's what I miss about. I think everyone was a little happier in the '90s because every sitcom, 20 minutes, a little bit of closure, a little bit of the family hugs it out,
Right, and then we
now we're in
realized-
and we're like, what if we had TV that just stressed you out all the time,
And then it had a
and-
cliffhanger at the
Yeah,
end.
so no takeaways,
mhm.
no takeaways, no
The binging.
closure. Just always next time, it's gonna get worse.
Now, most of the closure
That's all of
sucked,
life
though.
now.
I will say most
Yeah, it was
90s
all-
closure was bad.
well, it was hacky and
yeah, yeah.
forced.
Because
And
it's
then-
hard.
Yeah, it is. Yes, yeah. You
Right?
can't have it.
Yeah.
It turns out it's very difficult to have closure.
Yeah.
I'm learning through my therapist. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, here's
it's
one
not
way.
easy.
Bye. The old classic.
So speaking of family therapy,
Oh God,
Ophira, you have a podcast about parenting.
I do.
And you came in to talk about many subjects and many obsessions, but I thought we could start with parenting.
Sure.
And then we'll go back and talk about
A
your other
reluctant
obsessions.
obsession.
A reluctant obsession. Well, okay, I guess then my first question was it a mistake? Not a literal mistake, but
I joke about all the time that it was a mistake, but full circle on that. I'll give you a closure on that. I was called a mistake my entire
No.
childhood
Oh, interesting.
by my family as a way of teasing me because I'm the youngest, and my mother had me when she was much older, and I'm the youngest of 6.
Oh.
So I was completely unplanned.
It would be weirder if you were planned at that point. I
Right?
feel like. Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we need one more of these. Round it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Half a dozen.
There's no one to do the hose. Yeah, it does sound like we're just putting together farming. But yeah, so I was, and they called me. Some people get accident in their family but they called me the mistake.
That is that worse than accident?
I think
think so.
Yeah. Because mistake, I guess, implies we really didn't want it to happen.
Right.
Accident is like could be a happy
accident is
accident.
you tripped and whoop,
Sure.
it
Yeah.
went in there.
Yeah.
My bad.
Mistake was like, oh
said my bad.
no.
Yeah, mistake was like a mistake sounds like there was planning, and then you were like, "Ooh, we should have backtracked."
We should have backtracked.
An accident sounds like like a condom broke.
And my mother, to make me feel better, would just say, you were all mistakes.
That's fun. Keep it even. Yeah.
I did
So-
love when I was on the on the playground as a kid. When a kid would open up and be like, "Does your mom ever yell at you?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, of course. I get in trouble every once in a while." And she's like, and this kid Mark, I remember being like, "Well, does she ever call you a mistake?" And I was like, "No, she doesn't." And then it was sort of, that was our relationship petered out after that because
Yeah.
I couldn't relate. And I was like, "No, my mom wanted me."
Yeah.
Well, that is tough.
So, it wasn't a mistake. I mean, I've just made mistakes. So this was as planned, I guess, as possible. Planned with good fortune because we technically tried, and I did not do IVF or fertility treatment. I don't know what my choices would have been if that's what I was up against,
Right.
because I was also already older, and I had survived cancer, and then I did get pregnant, but I had a miscarriage, and it was a miscarriage that was, the easiest way to just summarize it without getting into it, was like a cancer scare. And then I had to give blood for 6 months every week, and I went down one of the darkest psychological paths of, I think, my entire life. And I have reason to go down a lot of them, but that was the moment. And then after that, when I kind of made it through, and a lot of time is passing at this point, and the doctor was like, "All right, you can try again." I was like, I'm never doing anything. I am locking myself up in a padded room. I want safety. I want comfort.
Sure,
I want, and then
What are they testing your blood for over and over just to see your white cells?
it's basically, in this case, it's a hormone level because you're guys, but you can handle it.
Sure.
The womb obviously is the most.
Never heard of it.
It's the perfect environment for things to grow.
I get it.
That's
Seems
why
nice.
you can have a fetus in there. So if you have any irregular cells, which are basically considered cancer,
Right.
they will grow.
Right.
At the best rate.
Right.
It's like optimal conditions.
They love it in there.
They love it in there.
They love it.
So they're looking at
Boys
hormone
love it,
rates.
Viruses love it.
Everything.
Cancers love it.
Yeah. Nothing doesn't like it. So they're looking at the rates of the hormone because that's their only way of testing whether these bad cells are growing or not.
Okay.
So as long as the hormone levels are dropping,
I see.
you're, they
When
don't.
you said you had to give blood every day, I was picturing you. They were like, if you want to make it through this, you need to be a saint and give a pint.
Oh, right,
every
right.
week.
Which I
You need
couldn't
to
do
start doing
anyways
that.
because I don't have a spleen.
My God! Wow, this is my new obsession. Ophira's bodily issues.
You've achieved so much with so little spleen and the
you.
cancer and
I
whatnot. My
appreciate
God.
it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
God.
Yeah.
Wow. I got a specific question, and if you don't want to talk about this,
I don't not talk about anything.
I don't know. With the cancer, because my father passed.
Yeah, I'm
that
sorry.
became an obsession for him. Like in a weird way, it became a hobby because he liked finding out what they were doing to him. He liked finding out about a shunt or like a tube going in his these arteries to spray. Like he did an experimental treatment where they put the chemo directly on the tumor, like with a catheter.
Interesting.
And it worked. And he had like 18 months off of chemo for a while. Like he got like a break. It was crazy. And I just felt like he found like a new, because it's something you don't look into. I don't go home and Google or chat GPT, hey, tell me what would happen if I got cancer, which I probably should, because I don't know.
Why?
It feels like a 50-50 shot that we're all going to.
They'll just be like, "You'll be great, dude."
Yeah, it's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
But instead of being like a toxic positivity, he was very into like, well, they're going to do this and they're going to try this, and I got to get my
I went the other way. Other way. I got into, I mean, I couldn't quite do this, but I did it a little bit while I was going through it because it was counterproductive. But I got into the conspiracy of cancer.
Oh, interesting.
Because, you know, as I was just discussing yesterday, it's easier to talk about this in terms of behavioral health. The only reason when you go into a therapist, they go, you have generalized anxiety or you have whatever these categories are, is purely for insurance.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
That's just so they can charge you and charge and get their money, right? Because everyone is a little bit more complicated than that. There's probably two people out there that are just like, no, you're really 9067 plus a little 4594, you know. But really, these things were created for capitalism. Okay, so cancer is part of the capitalist model as well, especially in America. So if you look at most cancers, how things are treated worldwide, it's pretty different.
Really?
And this is not, I mean, stage 4 cancer is just its own deal.
Right.
And whatever cancer you have, it has its own deal. But with early stage cancers in America, they changed the meter all the time. What is considered cancer 0 and what is considered stage 1 or 2, potentially because they can then do treatment and get more money. And there is a thread that will go, well, statistically, there is a blah, blah, blah % chance that this could become something. So if we are super aggressive now, that lowers the chance. But there is the same that you could argue the other side. Well, there's let's say it's 50-50. Nobody wants those odds.
Yeah, sure.
And no one gets 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay. But if they go 50% chance this will turn into a cancer, 50% chance it's nothing.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'd probably get it taken care of, right?
Yeah.
You know? Right?
Get some,
right?
something removed.
I would like to get something yanked out of there.
Okay, now what
Yeah.
if it's 8%?
Then I might let it ride.
Okay, but that's
I would definitely let it ride.
that's
'cause
not what they do.
Yeah, sure.
They go
wanna get it out.
8%.
No.
And so they go
that's-
8 out of 100 people this turns into something, but we can make that 4.
Yeah.
We'll cut it in half, not 0. 4.
Yeah.
So I got into this.
Yeah.
And then weirdly, years later, I was doing a benefit for a chemotherapy for like the chemotherapists of New York. By the way, terrible crowd. One of the worst.
They don't like the bits.
Yeah.
Not funny.
They're not loose.
And also, I think when you get that smart of medical professionals, they're maybe they're a little on the spectrum. I mean, it's just like,
But you're
Sure.
looking in the MRI and you're like, how much metal should I have in here? And then he's like, stops it and he screams at you.
Well, they're like mini. They're like near God too. I feel like
that's true.
when you're doing,
They
you're
see it
saving
all.
lives.
and
these
as
people,
they should
you know?
be.
Sure.
I think they should be
Sure.
megalomaniacs.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I do.
You don't want to chill chemo.
No,
Yeah.
you don't want to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
Sure, sure.
Funny 'cause
Yeah.
when you said they do it differently in every country, I'm picturing America being the most aggressively, we got to make money off this.
That's right.
And that there's some other country where they're like, we're just going to give you a pack of gummy bears. See how it goes.
Some Haribo.
Yeah.
I mean, people complain. I know, as a Canadian, I know everything about the Canadian healthcare
yes.
system, which is socialized. And I will tell you that the complaints about the Canadian healthcare system are true and false. But to just make it as easy as possible, and I'm saying something that I didn't invent this, I just put it together. The American healthcare system is, we need you to be sick. Because that's the way we're all making money.
Yeah.
The Canadian healthcare system is, we need you to be healthy.
Yeah. You got to stop smoking. You got to stop.
So there's a huge amount of things placed on wellness, and there's also like staging things in priority. So some people feel like, well, why can't I get an MRI tomorrow? I have a mild knee injury. And it's like, well, because you're not classified as on death's doorstep kind of thing. And that pisses people off in America to think that they can't get an MRI tomorrow.
Sure,
Right.
Sure.
But the truth is, in Canada, you can. You just pay for it.
yeah.
Right.
But if you want it
really?
for
Okay.
free, you wait.
Actually, didn't know that. I guess that makes sense because if you want people to be well, because then you actually can contribute to society and the workforce.
Yeah, you can
as
get back
opposed
to work at Tim Hortons.
Absolutely, serve that coffee, a donut. But if they want you to be sick, then it's just for the corporate overlords or
Right.
whatever, right? Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the difference. And they both clearly have their failings. So I went down that road. So I was at this chemotherapy thing, and one of the guys that delivered a paper did a little pun, a Shakespearean pun. It was like much to do about, and then literally listed the cancer that I was diagnosed with. And it was a paper specifically talking about why should this cancer be classified as stage 1 or 2? It should be reclassified as stage 0. And I was like, to be hearing this is exactly like the
Yeah.
fact that this is a medical, like, you guys are affecting people's lives. I had surgery
sure.
Right.
based on this.
Right.
Yes.
So,
So,
did the
there you
same
go.
thing happen with parenting then, or with at least pregnancy and then into
No,
parenting?
then I just got pregnant.
Sure. More traditional sense.
No,
yeah.
you didn't
yeah.
need to read a book or anything for that.
I did nothing. I just got pregnant. And then I just sat there in a state of anxiety getting all the tests I could.
Sure.
And then one interesting thing, though, and I try to tell this to anyone, I've gathered some stuff. I love data. And when I talked to this great genetic counselor, and because they scare the shit out of women who are over 40 getting pregnant,
Yeah.
right? You're
Sure.
basically like a medical anomaly that they're just like, I don't know. Every step of the way, they're like, can we just cut this thing out now? What do you say? You know?
Sure.
And so I went down that path.
It's been a whole 6 weeks. Let him sit in this tube.
Yeah, they basically are just always like, can we do it now? Can we do it now? Can we do it now? Can we do it now?
What is it? Just there's greater health risks for you and the kid. if
And
it's a little-
again, like, because I guess you know what? I just decided my obsession is conspiracy theories.
Right.
Yeah,
of
sure.
this level.
This is
But
great.
as a friend who's a pediatrician told me, he said, I'll be honest with you, the only way they can guarantee a baby is with a C-section.
Oh, really?
That's the only way
And
they
that's for
can
anybody.
guarantee.
Yeah.
Well, for women.
Well, sure.
We're working
sure.
on it.
Yeah.
Well, I had I came out of the sunroof, and that was because I was
never
12
Breech.
pounds.
Oh, yeah. Or,
I
or
was
you're
12 pounds 11 ounces.
Yeah.
So they knew way ahead of time. I just thought I'd come out of the sunroof.
You mostly just wanted to say come out of the sunroof.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I liked it.
12 pounds 11
Yeah.
ounces. So fat it was in the paper. So thank
Wow,
you very much.
cool.
That's right.
Cool.
Don't you love that? Anyway.
But I had a genetic counselor explain to me when I was just like, well, what are the statistics of this? What are the because I love all these statistics because I find them totally invalid. Like, I just find it so interesting when someone's like 16%. And I was like, well, you know what? I've been that 16%. So I can't tell if that's a number I should care about or not care about.
Right.
So it's just like, what does it even mean? They're really so emotional, these numbers. Like, what does that mean to you today?
Yeah.
16%.
Yeah.
What if you are the 16%? Anyways, so she said to me, the problem with statistics is that the pool of people, the population that we are using for our statistics is usually 20 years old. And they will only, like, the stuff that we are providing statistics for now is really going to help people.
Right.
But the stuff they used to get, they didn't take it hardly any data. So what do we know about these women? Were they smoking? Were they unhealthy? Were they alcoholics? What kind of situation were they living in? We know nothing about them. We just know that 7% of them got this.
Right. Yeah.
And so she was saying, I would just decide to not follow the statistics.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's
she
fair.
was like, also women over 40 having children. She goes, 20 years ago, didn't really happen.
It feels like it's. I have several friends, not to brag, but I have.
Like you have friends?
But several feel strong. I have a few friends women
this
in
room.
their 40s who have had children. And
Yeah.
yeah. So it seems like it's occurring more.
It is correct.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a lot about women in the workforce,
Yes.
and careers.
It's also like, to be fair, I guess I know women who like coastal women who maybe in the other areas, like in Alabama, maybe it's not happening quite as much.
no,
But
true.
yeah.
Isn't it weird now when you meet somebody who's like, I don't need to say specifically, but somebody we worked with where you meet them and they're 40. This was a man. But we met this 42-year-old man. He starts talking to us about stuff and he seems like a child. And then he just drops it on us. He's like, yeah, my 10-year-old said. And I was like, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I was just so, but even my friends in New York, even people I knew from like stand up in the beginning, who some of them, stand up weeds out people quick, especially in New York, because it's just if you're staying here, you probably have to make other choices. But
Sure.
so people ended up
Get real
working.
pregnant real fast.
Yeah, they started working at
Take a
other
route.
bits of entertainment. But I know their kids are babysitting. I'm paying their kids to babysit my kid.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because
that's cool.
they did it younger.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Now, so that's what I wouldn't want to get. So your kid is still at a babysitting age.
Yeah, he's
okay.
he's only 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when does the babysitting stop? I guess it's the
I
parents'
think it's
prerogative.
different for every kid.
Sure.
Zach was just thrown out into the
Especially-
bayou.
We did not have a lot
Especially
of
in the
babysitting, no.
city. It's hard to tell because it's one thing, I think, when you have a house and a backyard and neighbors that
Sure.
you know intimately or whatever. Not that we don't have neighbors that we know, but it's an apartment building.
Yeah.
So,
No, fair.
but I think some people say, I don't know, 12?
12.
Yeah.
Well, I had an older brother, so that
Yeah.
makes it, he
That
takes
makes
the...
it totally
yeah,
different.
Yeah. The babysitting
Now,
duties,
I used to
absolutely.
beg to not have a babysitter, and they told me it was illegal, and I still have not Googled if that was true. You know what I mean? They're like, we can't leave an 8-year-old alone. It's child abuse or whatever. And I was like, but I look like an adult because I was a very...
Did you always look like an adult?
I always looked like an adult.
Oh, that's
It
so
was a
funny.
it was a weird time. And
Did
I
you
answered
talk
the-
like an adult?
Talk like an
I
adult.
can imagine that. Yeah.
And it was very... I got
Tucking
into
your
some
shirt in.
strange situations.
So my kid is very articulate and kind of talks above his maturity level. And he gets hurt a lot because people just talk to him like he's more of an adult. And
Right.
they don't watch what they say.
Interesting.
And he's very sensitive and he gets like messed up.
I had a really funny one. My niece's friend came over and she started talking to me, and I was like, this is like talking to like she must be a savant or something. She's like talking to me about music and her parents' record player, and she was just speaking like an adult 22-year-old. And then when she left, someone was like, yeah, she's the heir to this fortune.
Oh, yeah, like a
specific
record
company.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, all right.
Sony?
No, it was a soap. It was a soap company
Oh,
that you've
really?
heard of. And
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, whoa,
Dove?
all right. And I had, don't try and guess. I'm not going to out this person's, strangely adult child.
Irish Spring?
Oh, yeah,
keep
absolutely. That's a
guessing.
good
Keep
one, yeah.
guessing until we get sued.
I use Irish Spring, by the way. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I didn't even know it still existed.
Oh, I use it in liquid form.
Ooh.
Yeah. I got a loofah,
Well, I hate the
Oh.
Irish, so I'm not.
Oh, really?
I'm not putting it on my body. Anyway,
Okay.
Now, do you have? I guess. Well, maybe I don't know if this makes any sense, or if this is a real question to ask. Do you
I love
find joy from? I
parenting?
have no interest in ever having children. My lady and I, neither of us have ever wanted kids.
Yeah.
But do you find an everyday satisfaction?
It is. I mean, yeah. I like. Listen, I love the kid. We can chat.
That's
we
nice.
can have conversations
Yeah.
about the world, and it's good seeing it through his eyes because
Yeah.
he's smart and he's critical, but there's an innocence. It's interesting. I think it's made me a better person all around.
Yeah.
and there is great joy because it takes you out. Like, I hate to say comfort zone, so overused, but I have to do things
Yeah.
all the time
Right.
that I wouldn't normally do, including just going to, like, there's a lot of kid shit out there that sucks, but you go to a town and you're like, guess what? We're going to the Stratosphere or the blah blah tower or the whatever playground or the and I like a water slide.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
I like a roller coaster.
I like a roller
Love the
coaster as well, yeah.
Wiggles. You love to see the Wiggles
They-
perform.
I do not like that, but let me tell you something. So wait a
Big
second.
swings. I just want to say that I'm Irish. I don't hate the Irish.
But wait a second. Did you
Go back.
guys, because you're younger than me, did you have any Dave Pinkley?
Daniel Pinkwater?
No, he wrote
I'm just taking another
let me
swing.
think. Here, he wrote Captain Underpants.
Oh,
Pilkey, Dave
Pilkey. Thank you.
Okay.
DAV.
I'm familiar
PIL.
with the captain, but I didn't know the author's
So-
name.
And Dogman.
And Dogman. So my kid loved Dogman. So they did Dogman the musical at a theater here in New York. And of course we're like, let's buy those $4,000 tickets because we're suckers.
Sure.
And the greatest thing, what a gift every once in a while it is to live in New York, because you're going to Dogman the musical on 42nd Street and 9th, the Victory Theater or whatever the theater is up there, and you're getting like the best version of whatever.
Right.
It's actually not bad at all. Whoever wrote the
Right.
music, very catchy, but the level of the acting and how they put it together, because it's New York and you have the best people that are just dying to work here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're like, this is incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's-
Well, kids' entertainment can be good from time to time,
It
I
can
feel
be.
like. Yeah, absolutely. I always feel like a lot of my, like, Boy Meets World had a lot to do with my comedic development as a boy, because it got very silly as it progressed.
Yeah.
And it did kind of, it was, and it was more jokes kind of for not humans, adults. Yeah, adult humans. Not like sex jokes or anything, but just a little more clever that I was able to catch, which made me at least feel more clever,
Yeah.
perhaps. Yeah, absolutely. Now, are you showing him comedy or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, he loves comedy and he has a lot of stuff that he loves on his own end. I don't think we've not watched stand up.
Okay, well,
He's
good.
very aware of stand up because stand up is just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the cartoons, there's always a character that tries it or does
Sure.
it, or like
Yeah.
there's an offshoot character that comes like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember anyone doing stand up in anything that I watched.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you? I don't know.
I watched a lot of Def Jam, like as a little kid. And I thought
Really?
I thought that's what stand-up had to be. So I loved Bernie Mac's. I just heard it again.
That
the
led
other
to a
day.
lot of real
Oh.
problematic
Led to a lot
stuff
of-
for you.
Yes, I did do it on a
yeah.
show. I did do Bernie Mac with my face printed on my jeans.
But you're right. There was never like like Sam Malone didn't go to the Comedy Connection or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
and why not?
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
why wasn't anyone at that bar a failed stand up comedian?
Which would have been great, right?
Would have been great.
Especially in Boston. You could have gotten Dennis Leary in there or whatever. Yeah.
That is so.
We'll write
We
that.
gotta
spec.
write that.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
I do feel so. I have a sister who is like 12 years younger than me.
Oh yeah.
So when she
The
was so,
mistake.
yeah, absolutely. Well, she was adopted, so it's a whole ball of wax.
Okay.
Delightful person, but when I moved to New York, she was like 6.
Yeah.
So now, she's like in her mid-20s, and obviously different than 9, but she's like a human adult, and we can have all these delightful interactions,
Yeah.
and it's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like to tell her that she's my child, and she really appreciates
She
it.
likes that?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad she likes that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it is, I mean, someone wrote a book on parenting and I think they nailed it, which they were like, what is it? Can't even remember. It's like all something and no joy. But it was just like the way that you feel parenting is like there's a lot of different emotions that are within happiness and like your gratitude, like all these kinds of emotions, but just like that feeling of like having a couple drinks with your friends at a bar, it's not that.
Sure.
And to
Yeah.
think that it's supposed to be like that, like what why
Sure. Yeah.
why is it supposed to be like that? It's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
So it's also, I don't think like doing a high intensity interval workout, like it's just its own thing.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But it feels good. Like those things feel good, but not in the way of
And-
like
and,
I'm
you know,
having fun.
And to be like really sappy,
Mhm.
the love
Yeah.
Sure.
is amazing.
Seems like it's
Sure.
nice.
I mean, when that little kid, he's still snuggly, and I'm told he'll soon smell like a goat
Oh,
and
yeah.
be disgusting.
Yeah, I
He
smelled
won't
real
want to be
bad.
around you. He'll be
Yeah.
like,
But
No
right now he's still cuddly, and it's the best.
yeah.
It's the best.
Mhm. I get that. Well, it is also like something I'm learning as I age is that if you don't have kids, a lot of time to fill. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you really need more. That's what humans do is they have kids, and that's like 30, 20 years of your life
Right,
is
you just-
devoted to that. And then you're done, basically, and you can just watch TV or whatever you want to do.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know when that's one reason why we have this podcast, I guess, trying to find some sort of hobby.
Hey, I have some shit if
Yeah.
you want to do things.
Yeah, please. No, I mean,
Some errands? Yeah, please.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I got a lot of clips
Oh, I
that need
thought
to
you
be
were trying
cut.
to
Does anyone
Yeah.
cut some clips?
Yeah.
well, just on this note, I wanted to ask you because I just want to switch gears suddenly.
Yeah.
And ask you because we were talking about how you were sort of becoming a wine connoisseur.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Which I think goes along with being a mom.
Although I will say that I highly reject and I make jokes about it, how like the only thing, like everyone talks about how parenting is so hard. America loves pregnant women, hates mothers.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
hates
Really?
them. Oh
Yeah.
God. And then the only thing they give you, help, no. Paid leave, no. Daycare or anything that's compensated or any money thrown towards it, absolutely not. Chardonnay.
Yeah.
That's what they give you.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what they give you.
Chardonnay.
That's how the wine mom was born.
Wine mom, right?
Mhm.
And so I, not that I don't like a Chardonnay, but I used to put this in my rider when I was doing comedy shows because I used to have a drink before I'd go on stage. I no longer do that because that's called a problem. But it's just like, it's not how I wanted it to go. But I wanted a white wine so it wouldn't stain my teeth. And
that's smart.
the default is Chardonnay always. And so I would literally put in my rider, the Chardonnay has to be from a steel cast, not an oak barrel.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
You're like Mick Jagger.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. And they're just like, we have this Australian, whatever that is, yellowtail.
Oh God.
We got a big jug of
Yeah.
yellowtail
No,
for
and then
you,
I would
and it's
arrive
red.
at like, synagogue in suburbs of Chicago to do some fundraiser, not even remembering that the rider was sent. And they would present me this like Sauvignon Blanc and be like, I'm so sorry, but I don't. And I would be like, oh my God, don't even worry about it.
So, it's so funny
Sure.
because every show I do, I'm like, should I bring my own water? Or
Yeah, exactly. Am I even allowed to be here?
They asked me and they're paying me, but I'm still unsure.
Absolutely. I still get that way. I don't like getting a drink at the bar at a comedy club.
Yeah.
Which, because for some reason I
Absolutely.
think, even though I'm giving them money or whatever,
Right.
that they're going to be mad
Because,
because I'm bothering them or something like that, which is
I-
stupid, of course.
I know.
So everyone
yeah.
in wait staff at a comedy club usually a little surly. Like
They
Well,
have
they're
to be.
busy,
They're busy.
yeah,
They're busy,
and
so you
people
don't
are
wanna
being
they're making like
assholes.
7 cocktails, and you're like, I just want a bottle of water.
No.
and,
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
and you feel weird like going back there, but sometimes they're like, yeah, you can just go back there. And
I'll tell you what
I'm
I
like, well,
do.
I'm not going to just force
Yeah,
that.
please.
I just overpay. I literally just take out a 10 and I put it in clear view
That's smart.
and just wait for a second. And then they're like, you? And I'm like, hey, can I get a bottle of water and a
Yeah.
Chardonnay that's in a stainless steel cast?
This is not really related, but it made me think of years ago. I was not even on the show. I was at a show in Williamsburg that Dana Gould was
Yeah.
on, and he tipped $20. And he was just like, I just want people to know that Dana Gould tips well. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Good
It's
for
true.
him.
I
It's
mean,
really
it is
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
that people like that have to walk around and be very
yeah,
conscious.
absolutely, yeah.
It's my dream, and it's an embarrassing dream, is that I do want to drop the like big ass tip someday. To
That's a
someone
good
who
dream.
deserves it. Someone
Yeah.
who's like, they tell you. Like I was at an Olive Garden once, and someone was telling me about their separation because I have a face, and people just tell me their whole life story.
Really?
And just
Aw.
for like, it made the tip go up like $10, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't give any more than that.
Yeah.
For a second, I was like, I wish I could just drop like 10 grand and change that woman's life.
When I first moved to New York, I went to this cabaret space in Soho where they used to do some comedy shows and storytelling shows. And I was there to ingratiate myself to the person that worked there and did some booking. And I was watching, I think, a jazz show, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered a glass of wine. It was, I will tell you, my go-to used to be Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
If we're talking wine, I
Yeah,
can
sure.
keep doing this.
Yep.
I would. That's why I
but
didn't mean to get off parenting. But
I would say to them, is it from an even year or an odd year?
Mm-hmm. You need to know.
I didn't know like, of course, everything's going to be different depending where they got it, but I would say that. And if I saw them just go, I have no idea, I would not order that wine. Because then I realized it's going to be some crap because they're going to know what the year is.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's fair. I get that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's a good
These
tip.
are all the weird things as I just like become, so I'm not, I don't have a great palate. Like a sommelier is so advanced. I've done wine tastings with sommeliers because I'm so interested. And the way that they identify things, which I know is all in our head, but I'm like, how do you get that?
I can't. The least, I'm the one they have you to taste it before. I don't know what they want from me. I just go, yeah, that's
But
great.
It is something you develop by going like, because then they'll go stone fruit, and you're like, oh yeah. But I've done it where we're both smelling it, and they're like, well, what do you get? And I'm like, Barbie doll head, and they're like, I was gonna say tobacco.
Oh,
and I'm like,
now do you have a little
my dad
collection?
did smoke. My dad did smoke, and
there
I
you
had
go.
Barbies.
I know you don't have a cellar, but do you have a little collection at home?
I have a
or-
little fridge. I have a
little
wine
fridge,
fridge,
yeah.
but only because I had I think it was a Discovery card. Like, remember that
Oh,
credit
yeah,
card?
sure,
I
yeah.
don't know how I had it, and it had a point system.
Yeah,
And then I was like, I'm not using this card. I'm gonna get rid of it.
yeah.
But I realized I had all these points. And so my husband said, let's call them up. And he's really good with this. So he called them up and he goes, hey, I'm going to get rid of this card, but I have all these points and I just want to use the points and not have them go to the waste. And the person was like, well, if you tell me what you want right now, I will send it to you. And we're like looking on the website and he just went wine fridge. And they're like, okay. And then it showed up.
That's
Oh, wow.
insane.
And
That's
so I was
insane.
like, now, I mean, it's just like a little tiny one, like the
Sure.
size of a average Amazon box. But it's a wine
That's great.
fridge.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a good human service too, right? That's what we're missing with AI. That person was on the ball.
Yep.
Got
and
you that
they
wine fridge.
wanted you to
Uh-huh.
do something
Yes,
with that.
yes.
Off the phone. That's
Yes.
what they wanted, but they wanted it.
But they
Then.
sent it. Like when
I
it
know.
showed up, we were like, this is hilarious.
That happened to me. I broke my treadmill. This is a humble brag. I got a treadmill. in my
Well, you
home,
broke it though.
and I broke it immediately. Like I was too fat to run, and they were like, "You gotta calm down." And then I sent a message because I was like, "There's no way." Like I got the cheapest thing that I could ever get, and a Chinese company got back to me, and they're like, "We are so sorry. We will get another one to you. We will send the tracking number soon. Have a nice life." And I was like, okay.
Have a nice life.
Have a nice life is how they ended it. And I was like, I think that was just a computer. I'm never going to see this. I'm getting rid of this thing. I started to take it apart. And like 3 days later, another treadmill just showed up. And they were like, just throw out the old one. We can't fix it.
That's so weird
Wow,
when
they
they're
were
like, just throw out the thing.
Just
Yeah.
throw it out. It was like a mattress. Like they're like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
Burn it.
Yeah.
Burn it, please.
That's funny because that wine fridge of ours broke.
Huh?
And so,
Too much wine.
it came from some company and my husband called them and they're like, yeah, okay, new one's on their way. And we're just like, huh?
That's incredible.
And then a new one showed up.
I love that.
I have had that
love
where
this.
something gets
what a
lost.
country.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not doing that in Canada.
Come on.
You know, with all your MRIs or whatever. Yeah.
They're repairing it. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Repairs. Oh,
Now, Ophira,
yes.
normally we would ask if somebody's looking to get into a hobby. You don't need to tell somebody how to get into parenting. But if somebody's looking
If
get
someone
into
would
wine?
get into
parenting
wine,
or
what would
wine.
be, yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, because I actually now even do a wine show where
Oh.
I get a sommelier or a wine expert that's a real person, and we taste wines. But I think the pairing of wines is very funny, pairing with food and whatever. But I pair it with stand-up act. So I pick a stand-up that I think is dry or complex or earthy or whatever, and I pair it with the wine. Okay, because I like to make fun of this stuff. But I think that and I'm making fun of it because I think most people think wine is snobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is not. I think bad wine is a tragedy. Is a tragedy. When you go to a theater and you pay like $14
yeah.
for like that is
In a sippy cup.
disgusting. Like
They give
no,
it to you like you're a child.
yeah, right,
You're
exactly.
gonna drop this on the floor.
It's
you
like no wonder
monster.
you don't like it.
Yeah.
No wonder. But people like if you like beer, for example, there's probably like you like an IPA, maybe you like that bitterness, maybe you like that crispness of a pilsner, like of a summer pilsner. Maybe like there's all these things. Wine is. I feel like you need to go out and go. I'm gonna spend I don't know $50. I'm gonna go to a bar. I'm going to throw down $40 or $50 and I'm going to have 4 wines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just going to kind of travel through it and see what tastes good. And I'm going to start to remember it. And then you build it up really quick.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I go into places and I know just enough to fuck with them, but they
Right.
love it because most people working at restaurants know stuff, but they don't like, they're not going to give you hot tips if you're like, I don't know, California Cabernet.
Right.
But if I go, you know what, I like those Russian River Valley
Oh yeah.
I
I know
Pinot
about 'em.
Noirs, but I know that place had a fire, so they're really not the same anymore, but I like that vanilla in it.
Right.
What do you think?
Oh,
They'll be
wow.
like, okay, I've got
Right.
something for you.
Wow, that's nice.
You can
That's
taste the
delightful.
smoke in the Russian
And-
River Valley.
You
now.
can. They say that.
You cough when you.
You know, they
Is that true?
They
Oh,
say
I
so.
was
Some
being
people
rude.
think the terroir, right,
Yes,
whatever the vines
right.
are grown in, does have an effect, and then other people go, no, it's whatever it tastes like is totally just the grape, and it's a psychological. It's like your taste buds reacting to a scent that you. Anyways,
Right.
Wine drunk is a good drunk too. I would
Oh,
say
I love-
it's a
I love to
solid
be wine
drunk.
drunk.
it's a very
Yeah.
winos. What happened to winos?
What
Well, what's
happened to
going
winos?
on? Bring back the winos. It's too much weed.
It's
They're all on the
honestly-
weed
It's
now.
true.
Oh,
It's
it's
true.
right. Yeah, and it's nicer than seeing like someone bent over from heroin, which we see
Yeah.
on the way to our show every day.
Sure.
Like, oh, that's fentanyl. What if it was a little Pinot?
Give that guy some
Give
wine.
that guy a
Good.
wine.
And that's another thing, as we were saying at the beginning, don't let the robots win. You got to drink wine. Don't let the edibles win because
Yes.
bars are closing.
That's
No, you're right about
I
that.
was just about to inform anyone who was listening in the Midwest that if you put $50 down on the bar,
You bought
will
the
die.
bar.
So, please
Yeah, I
don't-
went for New
Please
York
don't
price.
do that. That's New York price.
Can I tell you that is so true? I was at a bar in St. Louis, and they handed me the wine by the glass list, and they were so cheap I didn't know which one was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
could not
absolutely
tell.
good. Well, that's like, yeah, I went to Cleveland and I got a Brooklyn lager for $1. And I was like, this
Holy
doesn't
hell.
make ergonomic sense. If they're
How are
bottling
you
it
getting
in
it?
Brooklyn, I should be getting it for less than $7 here.
Unless it was, this was just brought up the other day. This is probably too old for you because it's something I watched way too young as a child. Do you remember the movie Smokey and the Bandit?
Sure.
I never
yeah,
saw it.
I have seen.
Okay, the
Smoking
premise
Gun,
is of that movie is
Yeah.
that they have to deliver, I think it's Coors beer.
Yeah. Long way to
God,
go,
is
short
this
time
like
to get
Sorcerer again?
there.
But it's a beer?
It's not quite smoking, but it's they're bootlegging.
Wages
They're
of
The
beer.
bootlegging
bootlegging.
beer.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Across
maybe
state lines.
Maybe
yeah.
maybe that's something out to
Wages
Brooklyn.
of beer.
I do think that is a little bit absolutely a little under the table perhaps yeah
Very good.
Was that was the premise? Was that they have to?
So
get
that's
the
what
beer?
Yeah.
that's I'm wondering.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
It fell off a truck.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. And also, it says Brooklyn, and people are probably drinking Natty Light.
I
And
don't
they're like,
want-
I don't want any of this Brooklyn.
Right,
snob
exactly.
bullshit."
neoliberal
Brooklyn. Brooklyn is such a brand. I love traveling to cities. Like I was just in Calgary, Alberta, and it was like Brooklyn dumplings, and I was like, that is not a thing.
We have a Chinatown. There's a Chinatown
You can't
down
just shove Brooklyn in front of like anything
No.
and
there.
call
Brooklyn
it.
candy.
Brooklyn orthodonture
Yeah,
you
right,
know,
exactly,
it's not gonna
exactly.
happen no
Thank you, Ophira. This was so fun. Where can we find you if we wanted to look you up?
Got to walk around Brooklyn.
That's right.
Cough check.
Look
Yeah,
for a- look
exactly.
For a really smart
Yeah,
9-year-old.
it's up to you. Find me. That's your first mystery. No, I am on all the socials at Ophira E. My name is spelled with a PH, just in case anyone cares, except for TikTok, Ophira NYC. And what a mistake that was.
interesting.
Speaking of mistakes,
Yeah,
when
sure.
you do that, you don't understand that all your handles should be the same.
the symmetry the same yeah
And I have a website that I do update. Wow, OphiraEisberg.com. I actually, but hey, and can I plug one thing?
of course
Parenting is a joke.
Yeah, I have a podcast called Parenting is a Joke, but this is something in the future. I'm taping a new comedy
Oh my
album
God.
and special.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's November 9th, so a few months away, but we all know that's tomorrow at the Comedy Cellar.
Oh,
my
great.
God.
That's awesome.
Congrats.
Dear God.
I'm so excited.
Thanks, man.
It is
So
exciting.
Well, you'll 3, maybe 4 people are.
That's
coming
all I
from
want.
listening to this
That's
pod.
all I
I
want.
love it.
Only the best.
and they'll
Thank
be
you
wine
so
drunk
much.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
yeah
better
thank
be
you
wine drunk.
absolutely Thank you to Ophira Eisenberg, and make sure to listen to Parenting is a Joke after you listen to our podcast. I don't want to plug things. She's doing just fine. Dan, where can we find you on social media?
Hey, despite what I said in the intro, I'm also doing just fine. I think. Who knows? I am at Dan Wilbur Comedy on Instagram and TikTok. You can see a couple of Vance videos, a couple bits. You can see us every week live at Young Ethel's in Park Slope, 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. That's what I have to plug.
I am at Zach Sims Comedy on TikTok, at also Zach Sims on Instagram. And, we've been getting a nice little bump in the listeners. So we thank you for your ears and your souls. And hopefully you're a good person. Obviously, you're not all good people. But hopefully enough of you are good people. And we appreciate that nonetheless. Until next week, see ya, hobbyholers.